Okay, Bryan, how are you?
Wonderful, as always. Nice to see
It's
you.
good to see you. So tell me, how does everything, like, how do you get so passionate about Tanna's coffee? Tell us about your experience in Tanna. How was it? Like, like, how do you get into this idea of, like, what you want to do? And yeah, tell us a little bit about.
About the passion. So I don't think, so passion is kind of something that grows onto you, and I don't think you go and say, I'm going to go start being passionate about something. So I think the best things are usually unplanned, as Tanna was for me. I went out there originally trying to volunteer in a health clinic, and a friend of mine who sent me to Tanna is involved in Sydney, bringing coffee from the island. And so Tanna was, just as it is to everyone, just like a speck in the Pacific Ocean. But when I got there, it just kind of took me by surprise. The coffee industry in itself, as you know, is something so much more. The story is, the back end's so much more than the front end, which is cool. So that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Which you probably know more than me.
Yeah. So tell us, where is Tanna? 'Cause people wonder, like you already kind of say, but people haven't heard about Tanna at all. It's like an island in the middle of nowhere, so tell us how, you already said like you have this friend in Australia who kind of like you got.
So the best way to describe it, like if you could make if Australia's here and Fiji's up here, so the South Pacific, and New Zealand would be here, we kind of make a weird triangle. Vanuatu would be right in the middle. So it's a pretty remote area. Vanuatu's made up of 83 islands. I think it's 83. It's a volcanic area, so they're popping up quite often. So I think there would be 82, 83. Tanna is one of the more unique islands because it's home to Mount Yasur, which is the most active volcano in the southern hemisphere, which is pretty special in itself. So that kind of lends to the story as well, why it's so special. So the source or the origin, Mount Yasur is pretty much, I don't want to say God, but it holds a really special and high power for the people. And it also produces some amazing produce, and coffee just happens to be one of those fruits or trees, and it's creating just a remarkable product. And even more so helping like a small group of people. So as you in Costa Rica, with your family farming for a number of years, you can see the benefits directly for you and your family. And that's kind of what took me by surprise, was like the tangible benefits for the small communities of the coffee farmers. Sending kids to go to school, things that personally take for granted here. And coffee, the farming of coffee is just providing for things that I don't think that they expected 7, 8 years ago when they started this project or started this venture of farming coffee. So it's cool.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the people in Tanna, like your relationship with because you have really good friends there, like you consider part of your family pretty much. So tell us like about that relationship, because I think that's what makes you like really like that island and coffee. So tell us about them.
So I guess that would kind of, for me it's big because my family's pretty small. As a whole, growing up, it was me and my mom, and I'm a single child. So when this small village took me in, and Pamela, the one girl coffee farmer, female coffee farmer that stands up to me,
What's her name?
Pamela Kapum. I'm probably pronouncing that improperly, but I did my best and she'll know that. But she's 19 years old, and she's probably one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. Directly from coffee farming, she's sending herself to school in Fiji. So we kind of connected on a level of my paramedic background and her passion to help like the female population. There's a lot of unneeded deaths at birth, at childbirth, and that's something that she on her own has kind of seen as a problem. And she feels that she can do something to correct that or make a change in that department. And she's pursuing it full force. So she's 19, she's a coffee farmer, and she's going to school and pursuing dreams because of it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And you told me she has her family, like how many do you know, are like siblings or
I
how
would,
it is?
I would be
It's just a
mistaken
whole
to say
family.
it's-
You really don't have an idea about them. Like
It's such, I mean, the family definition I think is so much different for them than it is for us.
you
You know,
said,
when you
how
go to the
many?
village, I mean, so the village that I was in, you know, they were separate places, but I mean, I would say 30 to 50. And, you know, I mean,
30 to 50.
from the outside perspective. And this is, so there's villages and families spread out all over the island, which is very cool.
You told me how many producers or how many, do you
I
remember?
think
Like,
There's 100, there was 152. I think there
Mhm.
could be close to 200 now. And I think, you know, having it be small share farms, all providing or going to one co-op, I think the exact number, I'm not really sure, but a lot of farmers.
yeah,
Really cool.
yeah, that's awesome. So right now, Tanna is, do you know, are they exporting coffee to other countries?
Besides Australia.
Okay. Besides Australia?
Yeah, because they are, so Australia, New
Mhm.
Zealand, there is a gentleman here in the United States who, Jimmy Lappin, who's been doing amazing things for the island of Tanna. And to my understanding, he's the only other person in the States that's getting it. But I do know there's some people, people around the world are taking notice at Tanna. You know, I think it's probably, a lot of it's because of the bean, because of the coffee. But I think a lot of it's because of the story as well. I think it's been important. I think it's kind of built into the beginnings or like the foundation of coffee on this island or the Inuit co-op, like how they've created it. They've instilled like a real story behind the bean. So it's, I mean, selling a lot more than coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And how long do you stay in Tanna?
Did I stay in Tanna? So I was there for close to a month.
What were
Yeah.
you doing? Tell us, like, just as a adventure guy, just
So-
going everywhere,
Yeah, adventure guy going everywhere. I was surviving.
or surviving?
I was getting my bearings, and I'm far from. That place will make you really quick understand that I'm not an adventure guy. I'm just a city boy, and so it was really nice. It took a lot. It gave me a lot of mental clarity, so it kind of flushed everything that I think is reality away. And these people live in a way that was so foreign to me. So that was like the first step, was getting used to life on the island, no paved roads, generators for power. It was insane. So
Yeah.
that was the first thing.
Another
Did a lot of
completely
farming. Went and saw a lot of the different small share farms. So I mean, we were driving all over seeing people's farms, and some farms are, you know, very small. So I mean, 10 to 20 plants. I mean, I know that's a very small, but if you know a family is starting a farm and that's all they can afford, you know, the Inuit co-op's not saying, no, you know what, you don't have enough plants, so we're not going to take those. So you know, that's kind of delving into quality control. But I mean, as right now, it's pretty organic and it's pretty amazing at this point. So between farming, you can explore all day and see the volcano. It's insane. It's probably, if not the most excessive volcano. Probably not the best for our health to climb up as far as we did, but yeah, there's plenty to see. So
Yeah.
I was quite the urban
Yeah.
tourist,
That's very
venturing on Tanna.
interesting. Yeah.
out of my element.
I know. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Bryan.
About me,
you. Yeah.
it's a long story.
It's a long story.
Yeah,
But how will you describe yourself? Like, if someone asks you, who is Bryan?
I don't know.
It's hard.
Pretty shy in front of the video camera. We can start with that.
Okay.
But Bryan, a mutt, gypsy by trade, grew up with my single mother around the United States. So born in Redwood City, here in Northern California, and raised in North Carolina. Spent some time in Phoenix, in Washington State, in Bremerton. So, you know, growing up, it was tough. I think it was a double-edged sword, but it kind of helped me create who I am today, to build relationships with people I wouldn't otherwise feel comfortable talking to. So yeah, it's given me a lot now that I'm an adult, turned 28 this year. I think I'm starting my second career in coffee. My first was paramedicine. I worked as a paramedic for 7 years.
Nice.
And this is kind of transition. So I'm excited. It's always nice to find something you're passionate about. I was really passionate about medicine And coffee has caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And we're in full swing, so
Cool.
the coffee movement, as you know.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Now that you're talking about the coffee movement,
Yeah,
what's that?
that
What's
is
the coffee movement?
So that's how we're gonna bring, I'm gonna shed light as much as I can onto Tanna. I just want to be a window for people to look through, and kind of provide them with a voice. And if I can help anything with like people like Pamela or Pamela herself in her pursuit of her own goals, that's what the coffee movement's all about. I think we'll probably hopefully take shape in like a VW bus. I own a '69 single cab VW, and we're looking to put an espresso machine on the back and kind of
Sweet.
be a bum and sell coffee and make people laugh and have good conversations.
Yeah.
Not in front of cameras where
Yeah.
I'm so awkward. But yeah, so that's kind of the coffee movement. It's a slow moving process. We're pretty organic. Yeah, we're gonna start slow. It's a slow moving train, but we are moving. So
That's awesome.
watch out. Coming to a street.
Yeah. I'm very curious about it. Yeah, that's awesome. And now you're working for 4 Barrel, right?
I am.
How
Lucky
is
enough.
the experience? Like how? Because you've been working for how many days?
I'm just over a month old, so I mean it's taken me by surprise. So I've only been back from traveling, so I've traveled for 2 years.
Yeah.
So to come back and be able to walk into 4 Barrel, unreal. I mean the people are amazing. They're holding true to the story of what I believe is kind of like the vital, like the true aspect of coffee. I think they're doing a really good job with that. And yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful space. So I'm in the mill. I'm at the mill, which is on Divisadero,
Okay.
which is a 4 Barrel establishment. And yeah, we're serving really, really good coffee, which is nice.
Yeah.
Coming from Sydney, where you've worked as well, the coffee culture is full pace, which is good.
Yeah.
From the consumer standpoint as well.
Yeah.
So the customers that you're serving are expecting good cups of coffee, which is nice because when I go to a coffee shop, I expect a good cup of coffee.
Of course.
So most of the people come into 4 Barrel looking for that, expecting that, and also understanding that that takes time and it's a craft and it's an art. So it's not the fastest cup of coffee in town, but
Yeah.
when we do serve it, it's something that from the back end, from when the coffees are grading this coffee, all the way to making sure that we've steamed it properly and we're serving it the way we feel comfortable serving it. So it's nice, it's wholesome, which is good.
Okay.
4 Barrel coffee, I can't even.
Yeah, I really liked the 4 Barrel culture and how they
Yeah.
manage coffee. And
Yeah, for me it's fitting. It's good.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you, Bryan.
Of course.
I appreciate.
Hug.
Yeah. Good. I'm like.